All right, everyone, we are back, and it is time for yet another best of three. It's going to be the winner of the previous match, moving on for fighting still to stay alive. It's SortOf.
And in the top left, it is a Polish Terran player, souL.
Yes, souL and SortOf. Two very, very good players.
Oh yeah, they play on the EU ladder against each other all the time. souL is fairly terrifying, I feel like. He kind of feel like he's an upcoming dude. He's all over the place. He's really good at multi-pronged harass, coming at you from different directions while expanding a bunch himself, and he just kind of swarms a little bit for a Terran player, which is not something I say a lot about Terrans, but I think souL fits that description.
Yeah, souL yesterday, he was playing macro versus Bly, and it really shone through how comfortable with macro he is.
Yeah, for sure.
And he just, he just macroed up, and that's something that is very, very important. Like, if you're the better player and you can just macro up, it puts a ton of pressure on your opponent. Oh. Huh. The more you know.
Yeah, that's interesting. Oh, that's nice. Mana tweeted out about beating Solar for the first time in his life and making it to the finals of Afreeca.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, it's really cool because Mana was in the very first Afreeca World, I believe.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
he's one of the OGs. I tried to bring in as many. Mana and OG, souL and OG. SortOf is someone who's been in Afreeca World a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Pretty much since he was one of the only players in Korea for quite a while, so it was just SortOf and a bunch of Koreans. And now we'll see, is he able to take on souL?
That's our question. Again, no shenanigans here.
Well, a little bit.
A little bit of shenanigans here. But I do not classify it as full shenanigans. I am gatekeeping.
Partial shenanigans?
Yes. We'll give it a partial credit shenanigan.
The Falcon Paladin partial shenanigans stamp of approval.
Exactly.
Marine hoofing it across the map. I think that upgrades this to a little bit more.
Yes, it does.
It's like now it's like 3/4 partial shenanigans.
Yep. I'll give it a full shenanigan.
Full
if you bring Marines across the map to put in a bunker on the Zerg side of the map at 3 minutes, shenanigans.
I just love this. Like, say, hey, heard you want to expand. Nope.
I kind of feel like that number of Lings could just win that, though. It's one Marine in a bunker.
Yeah, the Reaper will join up in that, too.
Yeah, I suppose.
And still, it's quite a commitment that SortOf has had to make for this. So he's bringing the Queens in to tank the damage. Marine and Reaper not really targeting the Lings. However, the bunker does get salvaged, I believe. And then away goes souL, delaying SortOf's base a fair bit, forcing a number of Lings much earlier than usual. Puts himself pretty darn close in workers to the Zerg. And then he's just going to BC rush, because that's what Terrans do.
Truth. More truth has never been spoken.
SortOf likes his Overlord speed.
As every Zerg player really should.
It's now more expensive, correct?
It is, but
it's back to 100,
so
100?
Yeah, but not so much that we're not going to make it, for sure.
Yeah. I think it was fine at 75, 75.
Probably.
I think I'd honestly just prefer if the maps were just less having of a spot and Overlord can just chill out.
Yeah.
Than actually, because Overlord speed's quite a commitment. And it's
it is.
Like you actually have to take the hatch time, like you can't build a queen during that. It costs gas that you gotta mine. So I'm fine with it just being like 75, 75, but just the fact that there's always like an Overlord just like looming over your base. Blizzard even mentioned this in the Team Liquid map contest. They're like, we'd like to remind map makers, while it's optional to have an overlord spot, it is not necessary. It's like, yes, please, don't. I'd rather scouting be more something that you commit to, like cheaper overlord speed, than something that you're just kind of given.
Right.
Roundabout way.
That makes sense. Yeah, no, I get it. I'd support that. Trade cheaper overlord speed for getting rid of those. I am down. Battlecruiser is done. Where is Battlecruiser?
Where's it going?
You jumping? You walking across the map? What you up to?
Oh, it's getting the overlord.
Ah, of course.
You know what triggers me? Zergs who lose their overlords to battlecruisers when they've got overlord speed. They are quicker.
It's true. Just gotta run. That's all you gotta do.
And this BC,
Battlecruiser jumps.
Whoa.
That's a dead BC.
Oh
dead
man,
BC.
souL
Yikes.
just traded 700 resources for 3 drones.
I love the double spore. The queens were in position instantly.
Beautiful.
That was from SortOf.
SortOf's just like, hey, you gonna teleport your BC into my main base? Yeah, you do that. Oh, beautiful play from SortOf. Now, souL is a macro god. Like, I reiterate this, so even going into the late game with Bio, like, I'm not sweating it at all. Some Terrans, if they don't get enough damage done versus the Zerg, it's like, well, they're not going to be able to macro up, and then they're just probably going to die. souL, though, playing against the way that I've seen SortOf play the late game, or just play it out, like, yes, losing that BC sucks, but it's not like the end of the game or anything. He got a quick third behind this. He's going into Bio and everything. While not ideal, it's not the end of the world.
Correct. Not even close.
Medivacs boosting around. Being chased by the Lings. Hellion's going to be looking for a run-by, and there is not a lot in position to deal with this. Okay, there's a handful of Lings, but these Hellions are in and SortOf is not reacting. Okay, drone's starting to split, but units got to get in here to help deal with this.
Yeah, split drones still die.
4, 7, 9.
Could have been worse.
Yeah.
Nine's acceptable losses for 6 Hellions showed up at your base and you had nothing.
Yeah, not terrible. Probably alright for souL, because Hellions aren't going to do that much for you anyway at this point in the game.
Right.
So I don't mind that at all. SortOf is on his 4th base already, happily mining from that, it should be noted. That's definitely the BC in effect a little bit there. The fact that he's been able to get that up with relative ease.
Queen stabbing away at the Medivacs, trying to escape from that attack at the 4th base.
Yeah. And
got a Liberator coming on in.
souL. What a wall. souL's like, I need depots. Oh man, that is the least organized thing I've ever seen from a pro gamer.
Pretty janky. Liberator ends up getting 6 kills.
Not
Here at
bad.
the natural base. It's set up a couple times here. Look at that preemptive spore burrow. Right, even before the Liberator started setting up, that spore was burrowing. That's beautiful stuff. Dropping here at the natural. There is an attack there at the 4th base too.
Oh, this natural drop getting so much damage done. SortOf losing 23 drones. Oh, is he going to lose his hatchery too?
Yep.
Yep.
Marine DPS, good unit. Woo! They're squishy, but man, they hit hard.
Oh, no.
72 to 74 workers is okay. I mean, technically it's a 3-basing Terran, although he is landing base now.
Yeah, and he's a macro powerhouse. Like, he's even on supply as the Zerg. And this is just a lot of Terran coming across the map. SortOf is getting out Vipers. I don't know if they'll be ready for the fight in time. Soul's just dropping all over the place. This natural base, probably going to be getting it again. And sort of doesn't even really have anything in sight to deal with this. Some roaches and ravagers are coming back, but bing bang boom, dead hatchery.
Not even canceled.
There's been a lot of hatcheries dying today, not being canceled.
That's true. Come on, guys, cancel.
Oh, sort of gets a bit of a jump on Soul there, but he does have to back off thanks to the tank sieging. And Soul, he's not going to be moving in. He can kind of pick between the 4th and the 5th base. This location is getting attacked by these Stim Marines. Just going to be happy if they're able to cancel it, and I think they definitely will be able to. Actually gets the kill again, and now Tanks is setting on up. Sort of knows how important this 4th base is now, seeing as how he's lost his natural, he's lost his 5th. He has to save this base. Army's moving in. Viper's a little bit late to the party. Only one.
Hey, all right.
2 Blinding Clouds gets off the
3, I think, there. Yeah, not bad, not bad. More Banelings coming in as the... Can the tanks hold against this? Yes, there is. The tanks are all dead. Wait, just kidding. There's 2. Never mind. 2 remaining.
Soul is just sitting pretty, and with his superior upgrades at this current moment in time, his Marines are just going to be trading on out. That's it, GG. Soul
there it is.
Takes himself the 2-1, or the 1-0 so far, pardon me.
Yeah. 1-0 lead, looking really fantastic. Again, that early battlecruiser dies, and a lesser player's like, oh no, when they're behind. But as LaughNgamez said, Soul, macro god, able to get up that 3rd base, saturate it real fast. Maybe it means his wall isn't as pretty, but it doesn't matter. And he's just able to do fantastic positioning, great micro with those Marines and those tanks and medevacs, and just had superior upgrades. I don't like the Roach Ravager versus that composition anyway. And just ridiculous stuff there. Overall, gets the win. And we're going to move into a game 2 here, but gotta say, it does not look good for SortOf. If I had to place a bet on this game number 2.
It does
Which,
not.
yes, is from replay, but I haven't seen it yet.
Nope, nor have I. And for those of you wondering, like, all the matches but the past one and this one are done live. And these ones were literally played out the same time the tournament started, so it's not like they were played ahead of time or anything. Literally just like an hour, because Soul double booked. So we had to move things around last minute. Wouldn't be organizing tournaments without having to do that.
Sad but true.
In the top left-hand side of the map, he's my boy. He's Soul.
And in the bottom right, it's SortOf.
SortOf sometimes looks so good, and then other times he's just not looking so good. And right now, the way that he's been playing in this tournament, like, his style just seems like it's got flaws. I don't know what he needs to do, whether he needs to just turn on some aggression, or... Yeah, it's tough to say. Because Soul kind of just, like, powered up, and then wiped the floor with him. I don't know.
Yeah, Marine tank, not bad.
Like, you know that when a Terran's macroing up, eventually the drops are going to come. And then the drops come, and sort of just loses a ton of stuff.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. He lost his natural base 2 times to just drops. Nothing envisioned to see that coming. Nothing envisioned to deal with it. Nobody really nearby to help. And that hurts. You can't just lose full-on bases to Terrans like that.
No, you cannot. Like,
so yeah, no shenanigans here. But go ahead.
SortOf really shouldn't have lost that game.
Oh, okay.
Like, he literally got the first BC for free. Essentially, 3 drones. And he got up his 4th base with relatively no contestion. And then Soul just picked him apart and killed him.
Yeah.
Reaper comes on in, gonna start chasing these Lings, as the Lings throw their bodies in the way of the Reaper to protect the precious drones.
Queen shows up, says, get out of this neighborhood,
Yep.
you don't belong.
Stay away from my babies. as she vomits out a creep tumor.
Yeah, that's something SortOf does too. That first Queen of the Natural, he creep tumors instead of injects first.
Yeah.
This really shows how important creep spread is to these pro Zergs. Like, injects are really important, but creep spread is more so to them.
And SortOf is trying to play a lot like Sarah, like really, really defensive.
Yep.
Hatchery
Reaper
gets up.
escapes with his life, just barely.
Just barley.
Barley and some wheat. Starport on the way here from souL, and a third CC in production in the main base too.
And this is the scary thing about souL. He just macros up. And then he just... he just macros up, goes for a big push, and then the Zerg usually dies.
Have you seen somebody punish this?
Not really. Yeah, not really at all. That's because Terran's usually the one being so offensive with their BC rush. Or whatever that really keeps the Zerg pinned.
Yeah.
Same with this Liberator, keeps the Zerg having to stay home and defensive. And I mean, Zerg can try and punish things like this with attacks, which I think that they definitely should mix in at times.
Yeah, I mean, there's the like 2.5 base Roach Ravager kind of all that is really good against this sort of thing. Because even if you get a battle cruiser out, 1 BC can't stop you from dying in that situation.
Yeah. Even just like this thing that Raynor tends to do, which is like kind of like the pseudo Ravager rush, but then he just makes like 3 and then just goes into macro behind it.
Yeah, like a 3 Ravager rush. It's not a full commitment.
I don't think souL SCV scouted, so you got to be willing to mix things in like that. Because like Terran's pretty comfortable macroing up at this stage of the game. Like, the Infestor got nerfed, so it's not a death sentence to go into the late game, really. And as a result, someone like souL just was like, yep, I'll macro up.
Yeah, he's just now walling off his front at 5 minutes, which, I mean...
Super greedy.
Yeah, pretty comfortable saying he would be dead to any kind of Roach Ravager attack, but... It didn't come, so it paid off. Hell yeah, cruising in.
This is bad.
There are not enough Zerglings
coming in, but still. No major deaths. There we go.
Okay. That last one. That one too was pretty good.
In all.
13 drones down, first 5 minutes. Bad number. Don't like it at all. But again, Zerg is Zerg. You can replace those fairly quickly.
Bad number.
Yeah. Traditionally bad. souL definitely not going mech here. He's got a ton of barracks going for that 1-1 upgrade for those infantry units.
Yeah, souL probably going to have to stay behind his wall for another minute or so here. Just while he's going to be able to get out his couple of medivacs, and then he'll have units to support these Marines so he can secure up his third, because he doesn't really have that much at this stage of the game. So got to be a little bit careful. Like, this is another time which Zerg can punish the Terran. While all their production's kicking in, but that's not going to be the case. This game SortOf is just going to macro up behind this. And we'll see if he's going to be able to have a good enough defense that he'll be able to reach a comfortable late game Zerg.
And that's the trick. He was going for ultras in that last game. He just never got there.
Yeah. souL moving across the map. He's probably going to have medivacs joining up with this soon. Tanks and Marines going to be looking to push on in. He's got his combat shield, his 1-1 on the way. And all of a sudden, this is going to be a bit of a scary push that SortOf's going to have to deal with.
Yep, swinging down that right side, setting up, picking up, boosting up.
There's the tanks getting set up in a very comfortable position, hiding behind that Vespene geyser. The Marine's going to stim on in. SortOf should have enough to defend this.
Chase me, he says. There's no worries. I'm just a bunch of Marines.
souL, with good production, does have enough Marines to defend versus his counterattack. Just has to get them to his third base to defend there, and he does. Meanwhile, SortOf is getting on top of this. The Lings are cleaned, or the Marines are cleaned out. souL saves one of the tanks.
Wow, impressive save there. I thought for sure they were both dead.
Yeah, I guess
nice job.
Of them.
Target fire on the Banes again. souL's done a really good job of that here today. Target firing Banelings. because they all clump up. They die really easy, and losing banelings is more to sort of than losing lings or queens. Honestly, banelings are really important against this bio. So another push kind of coming in, does get scouted. Oh, that's a bad unload.
Yep.
There you go. Paying attention, at least somewhat there.
Mm-hmm. If that was me, all those Marines are dead.
Yeah, you're like, just unload here, go back in macro a little bit. Ah.
Yep. Okay. Sort of going into Hydras this time, which is kind of curious. He's also going to have to deal with this one tank, which is being a pain. The Marines are coming in to join up with them. Queen's going to be getting ground up a little bit. However, they should be able to defend versus this. souL's pressuring on the left side, going to be cleaning up creep. He's got his 2-2 on the way. Probably going to be seeing a 4th base floating over, and there we go. Baneling's going to be rolling forward. souL has to boost on down. Both players playing a pretty straight-up game so far.
I am in love with sort of creep spread as we watch creep tumors die.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty darn good, though, as you say.
And that one up the middle is pushing hard.
We'll get out of there. souL getting up his 4th base. He's even getting up a fusion course, so what that's
sort of forces a cancel on sort of's attempt at a 5th on the right side. It was canceled. Now Hydras are out, though. Now Medevacs are in trouble.
Yeah, they do have to be more careful. souL's willingness to macro up, though. Like, he's throwing up a 5th base, he's getting up a fusion core, making Widow Mines, and this is just something that I love to see from Terran players, just so strong in the macro front.
Yeah, especially if Zerg players are going to play more like souL. Like, why not? Why not just macro your face off? Zerg players probably not going to be all that aggressive. All they want to do is defend in macro, and you can do that too.
No, the thing is, souL's really lethal when he plays.
Yes.
Sort of is going for a Baneling counterattack, just not having a lot of success. Oh, like decent number of Marines there. He's now flooding towards his planetary torches with a lot of units here. And that base
done.
will go down. That is nice.
Yeah. 5 SCBs go down with
There
it.
we go. There's the aggression that we want to see to slow his opponent down. Fortunately for souL, he did build a 5th base, so he's still going to have a 4-base economy. Sort of, though, is doing a much better job getting into the later game this time, though. Viper's on the way. He's making a huge number of Banelings off the back of his strong economy. 27. That is a good number of Banelings. And souL's dropping all over the place, but he hasn't got critical damage done like the last game.
Sort of sneaking up that right side. He's got plans for these lings. Where they're going to go is... No. Yeah, little drops. Ooh, Medevac down in the middle of the map there. Nicely picked off. Engagement in the middle there. Nobody really feels comfortable with that. Sort of takes another hatch for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 base.
Yeah, looking good for the Zerg player. He's really reached that comfortable stage at this point. souL's going to want to make this a planetary sooner rather than later as he's throwing up 2 more CCs behind this. I'd like to see souL keep making at least a couple of tanks for their zoning, but he really is going hard on the Widow Mines, but they're not the best versus the Hydralisks.
And there's Ultras on the way because Kindness Plating is being researched.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so sort of reaching that late game Zerg at this point, which is good to see. We'll see if souL is able to match it. He's getting up some of the late game portions of a Terran army. His production is still pretty good. Let me take a look here.
Oh, Widowmine hit. Humongous.
Oh,
coming into that planetary.
Oh.
Yeah.
19-7. That's a doozy.
Yeah, that tank died, but that was about it. That could have been a lot worse.
He's trying to get up his 5th base, which is good to see. A willingness to try and take expansions sooner rather than later. He's also got the double sensor tower going on. Sort of getting Ultralisks on the way. souL, Mines, Liberators, everything coming. Oh, Widow Mine drop.
It's going the wrong way for a second there. It's going to die. These Hydras have it. Ready, death.
Oh.
Ooh, nice reaction time. Dang.
Very
souL,
good reaction
there you
time.
go.
And now we are seeing souL get into that ghost stage. However, it is going to be a bit of time before he's really there, so it may be tough for him to hold on if sort of is aggressive from here on out because he doesn't really have a critical number of ghosts to help him out. He's really focusing on the late game, and he's kind of cutting corners to go there. Does he even have enough to stop this army as he throws up a couple more command centers?
Is SortOf getting that medevac upgrade that no one ever gets? But I forget what it's called.
He is getting that medevac upgrade that no one ever gets.
What? That's officially what I'm going to call it now.
It is a good upgrade.
No one ever gets it.
And he got it, and he has the fusion core anyway, so he may as well.
Suppose. It's got a decent bank.
Rapid reignition system, that's the name.
Ah, yes, of course.
Now...
Okay, Ultra Baneling attack coming up here into that third base.
Yeah, SortOf, he's got just like the one ghost for now. Once that ghost count goes up, he's going to have a lot easier time punishing the Zerg player.
Yes. Steady targeting is a great spell against Ultralisk.
It's amazing. It really makes the Zerg have to question their move-ins or their attacks, because if you attack and you decide you want to get out, you might not be getting out.
Mainly because it ignores armor. Like, that's how you deal with Ultras. It's either really big swings or stuff that ignores armor.
Okay, tons of lings in the main base. SortOf's pulling some units back to help out with this. 3 ghosts just pop out. We'll see what they're able to do. Grinding the lings up most likely as Liberators. Okay, these lings are just straight up having a bad time. Now, SortOf, though, coming in from multiple locations. Banelings rolling towards this planetary fortress. Don't get the SCVs. SCVs need to repair that planetary, make sure that stays alive. Meanwhile, there's an attack going towards the third base. Another Nidus in the main. Looks like SortOf is defending on all 3 fronts so far, though.
Yeah, that one Marauder can take down the erupting Nidus, no problem. And he does. That bonus versus armored is really, really nice.
More command centers for SortOf. He's going to CCs for days. It's great to see a Terran with minerals investing in more and more of these command centers, and SortOf is going to have a ton. He is saying, we're going late. Late game. Sort of must have
Nidus Worms not
Nidus
going
networks
up.
as well, as he is calling in a lot of Niduses.
Yeah, those last 2 did not work whatsoever. This one a little bit safer. Attack into the third base, though. Pretty big deal. Lings and Ultras getting on. But that is 5, 6 SCVs down. That's a liftoff. That's an Ultra down to steady targeting.
Snipes go down, though. 2 Ultras for that attack.
I don't know if that was worth it.
You are not getting damage done when there is ghosts out without having to pay something, so you really have to make sure you're picking engagements that are worth your while. Like, 2 Ultras cost a lot more than 6 SCVs. So you gotta be careful if you're sort of in that front.
Expensive. This creep spread is just gorgeous, though. I mean, look at it wrapping around left side, right side, creep up on this high ground of SortOf's 4th. Amazing. I say that as it starts to die again, as it does.
Still, I mean, yeah, you're right. This creep is beautiful. Liberator's gonna be trying to defend, but when there's Hydras and Vipers, it can be tough. Oh, Baneling's rolling in, getting some of the ghosts.
Oh, Widowmine saves those ghosts. That was big.
Sort of hitting multiple locations once again. How many ghosts died to those Banelings? 3 have gone down.
Yeah, there were 3 more that were going to die, and then that Widowmine saved the day.
Yes. Nicely done, Widowmine. I would like to see SortOf make some more ghosts. Like, he's got the economy definitely, but he doesn't actually have that high of a ghost count. Another Nidus getting called on in.
Liberator setting up preemptively, and a Widowmine.
Meanwhile, sort of hitting multiple locations once again.
And SortOf defending multiple locations once again.
The right side is getting pressed a fair bit.
It is.
And the command center is going to want to lift to stay alive. The Ultras, though, are suddenly on their own, and they, no matter how hard they try, cannot deal with Liberators.
There's a Nidus Worm just sitting in SortOf's main.
Yep. Sometimes it's just too much work to deal with, you know? So far, SortOf's been trading pretty efficiently. Quite efficiently at that. 9,000 resources ahead of SortOf, so it goes to show SortOf crashing this Ultras comp against SortOf. I mean, it's looking good, but as far as actually getting enough damage to buy him a lead in this game, not really, because SortOf's still essentially maxed out. He's still got himself a decent bank. Would be good to see souL keep growing his ghost count as well.
And look who's
Just
making
staying on a
nukes.
few.
souL has 3 nukes in progress. Also nukes.
Nukes.
That's what the kids say these days.
I mean, that's probably how the president would say it.
That's true.
You got a lot of
All right.
nukes.
4th base, gonna go down. Army out of position to save this one. Too many Baneling, too many Link, too many Ultras, but what's it gonna cost an Ultralist count as 1 goes down? And 1 Ultra. Okay, so an Ultra down for a planetary, not bad, although there again, this is why you make additional orbital commands, is to replace bases that die instantly.
Oh boy, Ghost's starting to move on out.
Where are we, Ghosties? Ghosties, time for nukes. Ghost does not have a lot of energy. Should be enough,
need
though.
that much energy to call in a nuke.
Oh, just to stay alive while it's coming on in.
Oh,
all right.
Well, that one did not stay alive. How about this one, though? Sort of identifies this.
Ooh, nuke does land. Only 2 drones die, though. Another one coming up. That's not happening.
Nope. Ghosts having themselves a bad time.
Look at these Marauders from souL pushing on that right side. That is just a ton of Marauder against these Ultras. Not good against Zerglings, though, and sort of obviously can make a bunch of those, too.
Holy Liberators, Batman.
I know, there's just Liberators everywhere.
I'd like to see a Parasitic Bomb or 2 go down on that.
SortOf's making a single Broodlord, which is not something you see every day. If you're going to make Broodlords, it's usually, you know, 5, 12... 1 is interesting.
He's already got 7.
That's fair.
More ghosts on the way for souL, which is good to see. I mean, souL is one of these players who utilizes the mass nukes, but then again, it comes down to it. The nuke's got to be worth it. Like, pulling the Zerg apart is very important. However, there is a fine line to walk when it comes to throwing away a ton of resources into nukes. Having the mass ghost for the snipes, though, absolutely worth it most of the time. Oh.
Oh no, did you die?
Oh, okay, I'm back.
Oh, okay. Woo! Like you stopped talking, and then...
Yeah, things went quiet. I got the attempting to connect stream. We should be good, though. Things are loading. Parasitic bombs do hit those Liberators. A ton of Banelings rolling forward. souL has a high Marauder count, but this is so many Banelings rolling on in for SortOf. Oh my gosh, the amount of resources committed there on both fronts. The Liberators dispatching with most of the Broodlords. However, the Corruptors should be able to make work of the Liberators, and suddenly souL loses a lot of supply, and he doesn't actually have that much of an army left. Did SortOf just crash through?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's kind of snowballing here with 2 Ultras and a handful of Zergling. Rolling on in. It's suddenly 122 to 83 army supply, and I think SortOf... He's doing a ton of damage. I think he might have done it.
Apparently, looks
Stream
like
is dead.
Stream has recovered.
Oh, okay.
We are sending Bite, so hopefully it's going to come
All right.
back.
Excellent. Nuke attempt on the right side and all of this chaos.
It's not...
But souL has 0 SCVs.
Literally none. He does have 9 orbital commands, though.
Which is nice. He has an income because
You're
of that.
telling me
but,
there's a chance.
Of course there's a chance. Terran's not dead until
9
they're dead.
orbitals. Like 3 CCs, you got a dream. 4, you're sitting pretty. What does 9 get you?
9 allows you to mine out a base in 37.6 seconds.
Maybe in the old days.
Yeah, that's true. Not anymore.
That was beautiful when mules could mine more than patch.
Or more mules could be on 1 patch at a time. Yeah.
That's one of the things. A lot of pro gamers still don't know that, so they'll drop like 16 mules on a base sometimes.
Yeah. That's not great. It's not a good use.
Sort of. Just trying to pull souL apart. Like, souL is very spread out right now. And the fact that SortOf is just trying to rip him to pieces is great to see. Bases hit on the left.
Mules just dying everywhere. Just toss a ton of mules down and they're all dead. So income drops back down to 0 for SortOf.
Yep.
Attack on the left side. 3 Marines versus Unultralist. Nope.
I don't like those odds.
No, not great odds for the Marines.
SortOf's army supply is 100 to 90, or 110 to 96. So I mean that's still pretty decent for the Terran player. While he's only got 2 SCVs to his name, he's still producing just quite all right as a matter of fact. This is nuts. And this is why you invest in a lot of orbital commands, because SortOf's moving on in. He says, right, let's do it. The Zerg is coming on in though, and this is just a lot of lings. Can SortOf hold on?
Might be your GG looking at this.
Yeah, that's going to be a hard no. Banelings don't care how inefficient they're being. They are just killing all the stuff the Terran has. And the SortOf drops a ton of mules on that.
That's it. Yep.
That's the GG. And SortOf ties it up 1-1.
It was a valiant attempt over there. I loved the nukes. I loved that final attack we saw from SortOf, but not enough when you have exactly 0 SCVs at some point after, you know, the 20-minute mark of a game. Almost impossible to come back from that, so.
Yeah, just about. Like, the main thing is, like, it wasn't necessarily, like, his economy was... I mean, his economy was bad, but, like, it's possible to come back from that. Just the thing is, like, part of the late game is being, like, properly established, but SortOf, he, like, had his walls broken down, he lost PFs, he didn't have, like, his army really spread out in a way to receive further attacks, and from that point, you just kind of crumble.
Yes. Sometimes it's a slow crumble, but it's definitely a crumble.
Yes, it was a crumble and not a tasty one.
Huh. So check out that match arena link at the top of the chat here. You can use code AW50 to at your players here today, and everybody involved. All right. Best of 3, game 3 here on Eternal Empire.
In the bottom left-hand side of the map, he's SortOf.
And in the top right, he's Swedish, and he is SortOf.
He is Swedish. This is a fact. Okay, who's gonna take it?
God, last game was so good. There were different times in the last game I felt like one player could... 2 minutes later, I feel like the other player was going to win, and... At this point, I'm going to put my bet on SortOf.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he took down Special. And he did, like... He got to his happy late game stage there.
Yes.
It's a bit of, like, a chaotic late game, it seems, that he plays. But... still does the job. He hit SortOf everywhere, and he brought him down, and... once a Terran's established, like SortOf was pretty much at, it's not an easy thing to tear them down, and yet he did it anyway.
Yeah, for a minute there, it kind of looked like he was throwing ultras and banelings away and not accomplishing a lot. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, he just had like 10, 12 bases, and that's kind of how you do.
Yeah. As sort of like, yeah, as you said, as he threw that all away at the Terran, it's like, is it really worth it, as you said? And eventually it was. Eventually he did manage to wear SortOf down enough. If he didn't, and say the game had progressed from there and gone another 15 minutes, SortOf would have paid for that when, like, the resources left really started to count. As he committed a lot to that, but as long as you get the W, you are fine committing to it. When you commit and you don't get the win right away, then you're in trouble.
Then you start making questions and asking yourself what you did wrong.
SortOf going to be a pain again? I should try this in my ladder games.
I mean, anything the pros do, I think is going to be more effective at levels.
Oh, absolutely. Like,
yeah.
Some pros say eBay blocking is not worth it because, like, your opponent will just expand or make a zealot or whatever. Whereas, if you can just do it at a lower level, like any level, that's not the pro, like, it'll mess your opponent up a lot more than it costs you.
Yep.
SortOf got a creep tumor, by the way. That was
That's
nice.
good. Again, how important creep spread is. That's a big deal.
We saw sort of creep spread in that last game. It was beautiful.
Yeah, taking down 1 or 2 tumors at this stage of the game means those tumors are not as spread later in the game. It is cumulative. It is a cumulative effort.
Wow. Pneumatized Carapace for SortOf. Very quick speed. SCV is here this time as well to repair the bunker.
This is working really well. Okay, SCV
right.
down. Now we're done.
Bunker doesn't get salvaged either. A Hellion comes in though.
2 Hellions come in. Loving that. This third base is denied forever. Look at this.
Yeah. Years.
Look, get him, get him. Oh, he almost blocked it.
At that point, it's acceptable for SortOf to GG if he had that canceled.
Yeah, I think so.
You just say, right, Starcraft, not for me. Fusion core on the way, however, that should be spotted by this Overlord. Which I'm sure SortOf says, what a surprise, the Terran's battlecruiser rushing. I never would have guessed.
Shocker.
souL's wall. Oh, okay, there we go.
I mean,
It's a dirty
kind of a
job,
weird
but it
opening.
works.
Yeah, maybe he has to do it that way.
Yep.
You're on Eternal Empire. I haven't cast enough games on this map yet.
No, neither have I. Walling with CCs is hard. I just don't do it. Because always the corners, like, betray you. Because they're huge corners or whatever that units can always slip by.
And it looks fine, but then it's
And
not
it's really
fine.
not.
Yeah.
And you learn the hard way when 30 Zerglings run into your base. You're like, wow.
Huh.
The Yam Cannon on the way for SortOf, or for souL, pardon me. And oh! Oh ho ho!
Ho 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 ho.
Second starport for souL.
Mass BC, let's go.
It's not like the superest rush to 2 BCs because sometimes players will get like a super cool. They'll build like the 2 starports pretty much at the same time. However, souL is going to have a lot of BCs here. It ramps up quickly, and there's the first one teleporting in. Hopefully this one doesn't die. Gets the 3 drones, but it will get out. Big difference compared to the last game.
Yeah, for sure. Yamato about halfway done.
SortOf. Does he spot this? Yes, he does spot the second starport.
Yep, you got it. That was a
That's
great
an
scout.
important scout.
And that's Spire time. At that point, you're gonna throw it down as
Yep.
soon as you can. He's got a lair, so let's do this thing. Nope, he has enough gas for it too.
There we go. He's got a ton of queens as well, which is good.
Starting his 4th base over here, up at the top side of the map. Going for Glio Reconstitution, just droning, droning, droning. He's already up 15 workers and should be up more here pretty soon. Though souL's 3rd base has landed. He's pretty saturating it fairly effectively. Additional factories on the way here from souL too. This could be something like a Hellbat push.
We might see Cyclones.
Ooh, yeah.
Cyclones in the BCs, so the Corruptors kind of get shut down. Or
Yeah,
it could just be...
I don't see an armory, so if he wants to make him Hellbats, he can't do it yet. Here's the jump. Here we go. 2 BCs going at you. Spire's not done. How many queens you
3
got? How many
BCs.
spores you got? 3 BCs over.
Oh, this is hard to deal with. Oh no, the Spire.
Oh no, the Spire.
Yes. Oh no, 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 indeed. Yamato
Queen
Cannon's
count.
gonna cut
Wham,
down the queens,
wham,
and
wham.
there's not enough left to deal with these BCs. I
That's
feel.
your- We're done.
Yeah.
Not enough queens. Spire down. Battle cruisers wrecking.
Oh my gosh, SortOf, you poor man.
I mean, he's got another Spire on the way, but his drone count is getting
Yep,
massacred
BCs
here.
will cut drones down very quickly.
He's trying to go in for infestors with pathogen glands. Spores trying to save the day, but spores alone is not enough.
No, it is not, and these drones are having themselves a real bad day. There's 21 in all go down. And souL getting that Spire is disgusting. Roaches do go in for a counterattack, however, they gotta get a lot of damage done.
And they're not.
They get a few SUVs, however...
7 SUVs is fine.
SortOf is in one state of disrepair right here. As he
Battle
loses
Cruiser, 22 kill Battle Cruiser up here. He's doing alright.
about to add a hatchery to that kill list as well.
Yeah.
Which, while it still only counts as one,
it's a big one.
Worth a lot more than that.
Neural Parasite on the way from SortOf, which could make this interesting, but I just don't see it.
It's not in time, and oh, no spores in this base. The location
this base
really
has
for SortOf. Another BC shows on up. Oh, he fungles the battle cruiser.
But Yamato.
Yeah, there's nothing else. Oh, this is so depressing for SortOf.
Yamato.
Sad times. He's just gonna fungal the BCs. How many fungals does it take to kill a BC?
Like 90? It's a lot.
Oh,
BCs have a ton of HP.
Owns that corruptor.
Whew. That's the thing. If SortOf had built his Spire in the main, I think he's better, way better off in this game, but he just